They called him a centurion, commander of 100 men, servant of an empire, symbol of discipline and conquest. But behind the polished armor and the glory of Rome's legions lay something far more intricate. A network of power so refined that it never truly died. The centurion was not just a soldier. He was a prototype, a human instrument built to enforce order, to maintain illusion, and to obey a chain of command that reached deeper than anyone could see. In the ancient Roman world, every empire depended on structure. Caesar might have ruled from marble halls, but his power was carried on the spears of men like the centurion. They were the veins of the empire, iron, loyal, unyielding. Each centurion controlled roughly 80 to 100 soldiers, trained to move as one organism. They were feared not only by Rome's enemies, but by Rome itself. A general could be replaced, a centurion could not. He was both executioner and conscience of the state. But the true secret wasn't in their strategy, it was in their indoctrination. From the moment they entered command, centurions were taught that the empire was eternal, and they were merely its vessels. Personal morality was irrelevant, duty was absolute. Rome made gods of men and machines of gods. In that paradox, the centurion was born. Half leader, half weapon, centurions were selected not for nobility, but for loyalty and silence. They carried the emperor's orders, often without knowing who had truly issued them. Messages passed from senate to legion to field without names attached. The structure ensured that no one could trace the origin of command. A system so efficient, it resembles the shadow hierarchies of modern power. Corporations, governments, intelligence networks, all trace their roots to the Roman doctrine of controlled obedience. Some historians whisper that after Rome fell, the descendants of its commanders did not vanish. They adapted. The discipline of the centurion evolved into secret orders and military brotherhoods, groups that survived by serving whoever inherited the fragments of empire. When the Western Roman Empire crumbled, they migrated into the folds of the Church, the Templars, and eventually, the political orders of Europe. The uniforms changed, the mission did not. Documents unearthed from the Vatican archives describe officers of silence, men trained in Roman military code centuries after the legions dissolved. They were keepers of continuity, ensuring that the structure of empire never truly broke. Whether king, pope, or banker ruled, the machinery of obedience remained. Some believe these men became the spine of a lineage that still shapes global power, a brotherhood of strategists, financiers, and enforcers who learned that nations may fall, but systems endure. Even the term centurion survived. In the medieval world, it appeared as captain, commander, knight of 100. Later, in colonial armies and secret orders, it became a title of honor or warning. Wherever there was a need for unquestioning control, the spirit of the centurion found new armor. The true genius of that system was its invisibility. The Romans didn't just conquer with swords, they conquered with structure. They invented bureaucracy, taxation, citizenship, all designed to make obedience feel like belonging. 2,000 years later, the same model governs nations, corporations, and even ideologies. Replace armor with suits, banners with brands, and you'll see the same formation still marching. But the hidden story runs deeper. The upper echelons of that old Roman command, those who never appeared in records, built the template for secret governance. They discovered that the most stable empire is one that rules minds, not borders. It wasn't about land, it was about continuity. And continuity required the erasure of identity. A centurion could die, but the position would live forever. A senator could fall, but the council remained. The empire was not a place. It was an algorithm of control. This doctrine passed silently through centuries, from Rome to the Church, from monarchies to industrial empires, from intelligence agencies to digital surveillance states. The methods changed, but the pattern did not. Power learned to disguise itself as order, and obedience learned to call itself civilization. Even now, echoes of the centurion's creed remain. You see it in soldiers who follow orders they don't understand, in corporations that prioritize systems over souls, in politicians who serve unseen patrons. The structure that began on the battlefields of Rome still governs from boardrooms and war rooms alike. Invisible, efficient, unaccountable.